Okay, my friends, people pleasers rejoice. We're speaking about the classy way to set boundaries that actually works, boundaries that stick. But before we dive in, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of all the juicy new content coming your way. Boundary setting matters. Why? We hear about boundaries a lot. But the truth is, unless we have firm boundaries in place, we're like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, really working at the whim of whoever needs us for something or whoever wants us for something. And that's not the way to live your life, my friends, not at the mercy of other people's needs and demands. And the way that we're just programmed as human beings is to, go along with others, to go along with the herd, to not disrupt it. It can feel unsafe in a lot of cases to say no, to turn something down, to almost ruffle some feathers. And our millions of years of programming hates that. We start to think, oh my gosh, if I say no, or if I create a boundary, people won't like me. They won't ask me for things again. They won't want to connect with me. I'm doing something wrong. So we're here to debunk that and specifically talk about how you can set boundaries in a way that's classy and kind, and in a way that your boundaries are just simply more likely to be better received by the people in your life. What is a boundary, right? Let's start there. The way that I imagine it is almost this invisible bubble that you're in where you end and somebody else begins. It's that line kind of around us that protects us in a lot of cases. So where you end and somebody else begins, that's where the boundary is. And sometimes we don't have any, right? We're just like, okay, yes, and yes, I can do that. And we take on so much and we're so resentful and we wonder why our energy is depleted and we don't have that much to give at the end of it all. So boundary setting matters. And remember, you are separate to other people. Your needs, desires, what it is that's right for you isn't the same as everybody else. So knowing what your boundaries are and what's right for you is critical. One way to understand what makes sense for you in terms of boundary setting is what gives you energy. A lot of the time, even if somebody's asking for your help, it can feel energizing. It can feel good. You want to do that. For example, I have a friend coming to Miami where I live in a couple of weeks. She has a 7 a.m. photo shoot and I'm going to be there. I will get up at 6, travel to the part of Miami she's taking photographs in because I want to be there to support her, to help her with that process. And I love photo shoots. I think they're really fun. But if that didn't work for me, if getting up early and photography and creating these cool shoots just wasn't interesting to me, it would be a no. It would be a loving no. And we're allowed to have both, but no one can tell you what energizes you. Only you know. And so often we're just on autopilot, right? If someone asks us for something, especially depending on who they are, like a mother-in-law or a colleague or someone who we just want to please, our autopilot response is yes, I'll do that. Or, hey, would you mind? These questions come up, a lot of requests, whatever it may be, and you just say yes. So an elegant way to manage this is simply to pause. Pause for literally 1 second, 2 seconds, it's nothing. But this immediately curbs your autopilot response, which if you're a people pleaser like I am, so I've done a lot of work on this myself, you just jump to the yes, jump to the pleasing, jump to the relief of, okay, we're good here. You feel me, don't you, people pleaser? I know you do. So think about that for a moment. The next time a request comes, just pause. Pause and think for a moment, and then think to yourself, in that moment, I'm already appearing confident because I'm not so quick and enthusiastic and eager just to say yes to please the person who's asking me. So pause and think. You're allowed to do that as a human being. Secondly, you want to have some kind of go-to phrases for when you're going to turn something down, because the most important thing isn't saying no or saying yes. It's the way in which we communicate. Communication is so important. And fun fact, humans are wired for mimicry. If you see someone yawning, what do you tend to do? Yawn also. If you see someone laughing or smiling, we have mirror neurons, so we tend to mimic the person that we're speaking to. So when I say no, I love to do it with warmth and a smile, so it's received in the same way. If someone says, hey, Susie, can you help me with XYZ? I'd say, oh gosh, I'd love to. I can't take anything else on at the moment though. I know you'll have fun. good luck. Or if someone says, hey, Susie, would it be okay if? I'd say, pause. Let me get back to you on that. I'll have to check a few things. Let me get back to you on that. Already that buffer is there. You've created space for yourself and you still have options, because it's not so great to go back after you've said yes with a no. So don't ever put yourself in that position again. You don't have to. So ask for time, say you'll get back to the person, and already that pause creates some space, which gives you some freedom. Already this can start to feel like relief for you, like these options are available. But with boundary setting, it's critical to know a couple of things. First of all, you won't fulfill your life's potential without firm boundaries. You simply won't. Look at any successful person. In fact, Warren Buffett says the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. So this is a critical skill to learn. And then secondly, and a lot of people don't, or are pleasantly surprised by this because they don't expect it, the world responds with respect to you when you respect your time. When you value yourself, the world just responds in kind. And then you'll see that people come to you less, in a good way. They won't be, yes, she'll help out, he'll help out. They're always just available. When you're not so available, when you have these boundaries in place, people respect you differently. And that, my friend, is pretty nice. As humans, it's natural. We're all self-motivated. We are motivated by our own needs. So there's nothing wrong with people asking us for stuff, wanting stuff from us. That's okay. They're allowed to want it, and we're allowed to say no with love, specifically using those phrases that I just shared with you. This is perhaps the most important part about boundary setting, which does get easier with time. And I'm a people pleaser, so I speak from experience here, my friend, okay? How your loving no is received, that boundary that you've set, isn't your business. If you have made it clear, if you've communicated with love, if you've trusted your own emotion and intuition and your energy when it comes to your response, what someone else does with that is their business. And guess what? It's okay if they're not happy with it. Ooh, am I feeling that discomfort, that prickly? Is someone going to not like it? Are they going to be unhappy with me? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that will happen. Maybe that will happen a lot. But what else will happen? What else are you freeing yourself up for? What time are you getting back? What opportunities are you tapping into that haven't been available yet because you've been bogged down with other people's stuff and needs from you? A whole lot of good stuff happens when we set those boundaries. We respect ourselves. The world respects us. We get our time back. And we kind of tune into this whole other level of success, because when we're not tied down to what we've committed to that makes us feel depleted and resentful, other things open up for us, my friend, and that is what we want. Now, if letting people down or offending others or feeling like rejection is something that is absolutely not okay with you, you will love my book, Stop Checking Your Likes. By now, you know this is not a book about social media. It's about living approval-free and having a lot of freedom with rejection, with difficult conversations, with other human beings who maybe you're not completely aligned with, letting that be okay. Now, if you like this video, please let me know what's a boundary that you'd like to set in your life. Leave me a comment and I will see you there. Mwah!